You should have gotten a notification. Should have just popped up on your screen.
Yes, I received it.
All right, excellent. Got it done. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. All right, there we go. All right, let's see. Come on. There we go. All right. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. All right, there we go. I had to mute myself. Everybody can hear me now. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Little hot. All right, there we go. I'm sorry about that, everybody. We are about to get this show going. It's a little difficult when it's one person, but I got it. I think I got it under control. So we're just gonna get right into it. I just want to say welcome, everybody that's returning. Thank you. Without you guys, this show is it can't be possible. But I do want to say for all our first-time viewers, welcome. I'm a local online news show. I talk about local, national, and international news. I am your host, Aaron Casey, and this is What's Up People News. Now, let's get right into it. As you guys see, I have a guest on the show today. He has blessed us by taking a couple minutes out of his busy schedule to talk with us. I am happy and proud to introduce Mr. Ellison out of Florida. He is running for Senate. We're about to get into the interview. So for the people who aren't familiar with you, Mr. Ellison, can you give us a quick little background of who you are and why you're here today?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. My name is Ellison, running for the United States Senate. I'm probably the longest running candidate in the state of Florida. I've been running now for a year and 4 months for this seat. In 2018, I ran for the United States House of Representatives in Florida's 17th congressional district. In that particular race, it was a special election because there was the death of April Freeman, who passed away about 30 days before the general election. And so there was a special election. I won the majority of the vote, 52% of the vote against 3 other contenders. By the time we won the election, there was only 28 days left for the general election. And I had to face Congressman Stubbe, who was at the time a 3-term senator from the state of Florida, who had been campaigning for a year, raised almost $1 million for his campaign. And my name wasn't even on the ballot. Yet we were able to secure 117,000 votes in Florida's largest congressional district and the district that was the most red, meaning that there are the district that had the most Republicans in that district. And so we were able to win over not only Democrats, but independents and Republicans in that race. And I almost won the race in 28 days. And so what that did was it lit a fire up under our campaign, under the people throughout the state of Florida, to let them know that, this is an election that we can win. And so fast forward, here I am running for the United States Senate, doing all of the things that I have been doing, which is helping people, educating people, holding the most town halls, and making sure that people understand how policy directly impacts their life.
Awesome. And that's one thing that I always talk about on this show: people seeing a problem and then stepping up to the plate and trying to solve that. And the fact that town halls are very, very important. I don't know if a lot of people understand how important they are, because that gives the candidate a chance to talk with the people directly, not through, email, voicemail, a website, social media. No, they're there in front of you. And now we get to have that dialogue. As someone who's running for office, hearing what the issues that affect the people are so important, and having somebody like yourself willing to, you know, step back from your other dreams to help the people is definitely commendable. And again, the fact that you are having so many town halls, that gave you an insight that most other politicians probably didn't have. Again, you're talking directly to the people. They're expressing, you know, what's going to help them become better, you know, for themselves, for their family. So I commend you on that, because a lot of people, a lot of politicians don't hold town halls. You know, they just, hey, I'm here. I got $1 billion in the bank. Vote for me, and that's it. You know, it's always surface level with them. So I definitely commend you for that. But enough about that. We're actually about to get into this interview. I have 5 questions, and this is question number 1. As I was reading your about page, I saw that your mom used to help people with disabilities, and myself, I always I advocate for people with disabilities, mental health, things like that. So my question is, what did you learn from your mom working with that particular population? And how will you use that to help people currently with disabilities or mental health issues?
Well, thank you for the question. You know, growing up, oftentimes I would go to work with my mom, and what she did was she worked with people with functional disabilities, and she helped them to learn how to basically live on their own. Oftentimes, even today, and I'm here in my business, I have a hair salon, I deal with people with disabilities all the time. Some of them have physical disabilities, some have cognitive disabilities. But what I've learned throughout my life is that oftentimes people with disabilities are in need of a champion to represent their collective interests. And what I have learned is that when I look around this state and I look around this country, I don't see many leaders standing up for people with disabilities. And so I have come to understand that the disabilities issue is probably what I call the sleeping giant in the room, because it literally impacts directly or indirectly more people than probably any other issue. For example, in the state of Florida, there are about close to 4 million people, 4 million adults who have a disability, and there are millions more who have been deemed disabled by a medical physician, but haven't been able to get disability benefits. The same thing goes on across the country, where there's about 69 million Americans living with a disability. The thing about disabilities is there is probably at least 1 to 2 other people who are connected to the individual with a disability who's also indirectly impacted. So now that number jumps up to 120 million people, or easily over that amount. And so when you have people who have disabilities but are struggling to make ends meet, or being paid below minimum wage jobs, or can't work and can't get assistance, you know, it creates a great deal of stress. It creates a great deal of pressure. And for a lot of people who I've seen that have been denied disability benefits, sometimes up to 8 years, it can cause depression. And so I got a chance to see what happened during the pandemic, where not only people were living with disabilities, but also living with the idea that now they have to live without a loved one who died from COVID-19, or the person that they might have been dependent on lost their job during the pandemic, and now it's compounded stress. So the thing that I want to be able to do as a voice for those who live with disabilities is to be able to increase the amount of disability benefits that those who are receiving benefits are receiving. And in the process that goes on for those being denied year after year after year. And a lot of that really has to do with there not being enough resources in the pool to take care of everybody who have become disabled. And the thing is,
Mhm.
this is not a partisan issue. Any one of us could become disabled at any point. You can be driving down the road, get in a car accident, and you become disabled, can't work, and now you are dependent upon the same pool of resources that those who are currently on disabilities receive. So I know that in putting together policy, I'm going to have to come up with some type of new revenue generator that can sustain a population of people who depend on disability benefits. And so it's something that I have become a champion on. I think I might be the only candidate running for this seat, and probably the only candidate in the entire country that focuses policy around this issue.
And we need more people like that. I mean, like you said, mental health or disabilities can happen to anybody at any time, and to have the resources in place that if you do, for some unforeseen reason, you do become disabled, you have the necessary resources. If not, what are you going to do? You're going to be unhappy. You're going to start having dark thoughts and things like that. So we have to have those resources, and we have to have those people like yourself in place to come up with these ideas to say, hey, we have to focus on this, So thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right. Question number 2. What are some of the lessons your father taught you, or some of the experiences that you went through, and how will those lessons translate into helping people in your state of Florida?
Well, one of the lessons that my father taught me, my father is a minister, he's a pastor of the church. But growing up in the church, the thing that I learned from my father was that everyone it comes into this world, and they come into this world with a gift. But not everyone's gift is the same gift. Everyone has their own gift. The thing that I learned was that, and I learned this early on in life, is that my gift is the gift of helping other people. This is what I do each and every day of my life. This is what I believe that I was put in this world to do. And running for office for the United States Senate is really a way for me to maximize my gift of helping others. So in the course of my day, I may help someone to form a business. I may help someone understand something about marketing, maybe even help them to understand something about how policy directly or indirectly impacts their world. They may need a letter of reference. It doesn't matter what it is. If it helps an individual to go from point A to point B to get them to improve the quality of their life, then that's what I do. I've started an NGO, nonprofit, the Ellison Foundation. We help a lot of people from around the world. We self-fund our efforts. And the thing is that I am always looking to make impact wherever I am. And I tell people this all the time: when people are born into this world, people draw circles. Some people draw circles around just themselves. And we've seen people like that. The former president was like that. Some people draw circles around themselves and their families, and that's admirable. Some people draw circles around themselves and their community. Some people draw circles around themselves and the nation. We've seen President Obama do that. And some people draw a circle around themselves and humanity, people like Mother Teresa. I'm one of those people. I believe that I was put on this earth to help anyone that comes into my path, and my mission in life is to always find ways to increase my sphere of influence to be able to help as many people as I can. That includes Florida, the United States, and even around the world. We actually provide micronutrients for a farm in Africa that's feeding 150,000 people for free. And so, it just depends on, where this gift takes me, but I'm always looking to make impact.
That's awesome. And I asked this question to another candidate last week. I asked him about diversity and having a diverse, government, having different backgrounds from different people. You can learn so much. because there might be something that you might not see, but this sister, this brother from a different country may come in with their expertise, see something, and then they can in turn help you. It's just awesome that you're helping, people in a whole nother country, get food, because food is definitely important, very important, to have that substance to be able to work and play and get through the day, not even talking about the issues that people may face, just the necessities. You need to eat, you need nourishment. So that is awesome that you're able to do that. And that just shows how far you're willing to go to help people, not just, like you said, not just people in your state, but people on a whole nother continent. And that's big, because that shows you're willing to go outside of the norm, to help people. And I think that also translates into how you're willing to be able to learn. If there's something you don't know, or if there's a different perspective, let's hear it. So I commend you. I'm sorry I'm giving you a lot of praise right now. This is supposed to be an interview, but these are important things that we're talking about, and I really hope that the people in Florida really take heed to the things that you're saying, because you really do. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's like you were saying earlier about the town halls, and that's the reason why I hold town halls, is because as a political scientist, I learned a lot in college about government, the inner workings of government and policy. But what I didn't learn was in college was the importance of communicating with the people about policy. And so the only way that I can effectively do that and be in a position to effectively represent people in the United States Congress is I have to create avenues and ways to learn, to listen, to learn about what's on their hearts and minds. Because I believe that if you don't know who I am, if you don't know what keeps me up at night, if you don't even care, but you're running for office to represent my interests, there is no way possible that you could ever represent my interests, because you don't have a clue of what I am dealing with, or the people like me, the people in my community. So that's why I hold the town halls, because it's not only an opportunity for me to learn more issues that affect more people, but it also gives them an opportunity to feel really good about how policy is going to benefit them. As a political scientist, this is what I've studied. This is what I went to school for. This is what I got my degree in. But when I graduated from college in 2007 with my degree in political science, I was the only one. And so I got a chance to see how people in general who normally would not think too much about politics, I got a chance to see the country start to mobilize towards becoming more politically active and more politically astute, especially when President Obama ran for office. Everybody was like glued to the televisions. I thought it was very interesting. So with that level of excitement and interest, I try to stimulate it as much as I can, because there is a large segment of our population that simply do not engage in politics because of the idea that politicians are going to do what they want to do, and that politicians are not going to listen to the people. And so I want to change this idea, but the only way that I can change it is the people have to become better educated to vote for better leaders, so that leaders can write better policy. And so that starts with communicating directly with the people. And the best way we can do that is through town halls. And so I try to have a weekly town hall and a monthly town hall, and make sure that it's consistent, because it really does matter to me to know that people are learning from these town halls. People are becoming more politically engaged. And the other thing is, whenever we want people to go and vote, we can't expect people to just be excited and inspired and motivated to go and vote if they really don't know what a candidate stands for. And a lot of candidates simply don't like to do this. They don't like to have town halls because nobody wants to be asked tough questions. But if we can just get into the mindset that no, candidates don't know it all, but we can learn and we can grow together. And that's what it's really about. We are a global society. We are a national society, and we have to look at ourselves as a collective and stop with all of the division, stop with all of the, because, you know, in every society, people are going to try and elevate themselves above another person. But, you know, for me, I'm just a regular old country boy who grew up in a 3-bedroom trailer on the side of a dirt road. And so, you know, I'm right here with the people. I understand what the plight is. And so I'm looking to be that champion to improve the quality of life for everyone, not just some of us.
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The issue is having, well, I won't say that. I'll say the time of having multi-billionaire politicians, I think that time is done. I think that in order to make real policy that affects the people, we got to have people in office that understand the issues, that understand what we go through on a day-to-day. You know, I think somebody was like, oh, Donald Trump doesn't know the price of milk. Yeah, he doesn't. That isn't really important for him, but for everybody else, the common man, like, yo, milk is, you know, $2.19, $2.20. Some places might be $3, $4, you know, like, but just understanding what we face on a day-to-day, we need people like that in office, people like yourself, you know, because you understand what it is, you know, like you said, you grew up in a small house on the side of a road. Like you understand that, you know, the price of milk, you know what it's like getting up at the butt crack of dawn every morning to get to school, to get to work, you know, that grind, you know, and billionaire politicians, they're so far removed from that, they could care less. They're making policy based on what they think, but not fully understanding what the people go through. So thank you for that. Let me move right along. I do apologize about that. Question number 3. As you know, Texas, Oklahoma, and Georgia, just to name a few, have passed or trying to pass laws that affects women's rights. Excuse me. Women's rights is one of the issues on your platform. What does women's right mean? What does women's rights mean to you? And if elected, what would that look like in practice?
Well, women's rights means everything to me. You know, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a son. And the fact of the matter is that I do not want legislators, I don't want government to try and supersede any of the women in my life, in my community, in this nation. I don't want them to supersede their rights to choose the health care for their bodies. The other thing is, in 1963, President Kennedy signed a law to make it illegal for women to be paid less than men for the same or similar work. And what I want to be able to do is I want to, one, codify the existing law to make sure that women's rights are secure across the country. But also, I want to make sure that there are more teeth in the existing legislation, the 1963 Equal Pay Act, where women can be paid the same wages for the same work or similar work. And the thing is that the law already exists, but it doesn't have enough enforcement capabilities. I want to put enforcement capabilities into the law. And not only that, I want to go back all the way back to 1963 and investigate every employer that has ever employed women. And if we find that women have been paid less, I want back pay for every one of those women up until present day. Because what that would do is that would help millions of women be able to finally get ahead financially. And because a lot of women are the head of households, it would help millions of families And I've said this before, and I've gotten some flack for it, but the reality is that it's not like women would be getting something that they didn't deserve. They would be getting something that they earned under the law. And so again, this bill is already on the books. It just needs enforcement capabilities to make sure that women and families are being taken care of. This issue is near and dear to me because my mother raised 7 of us on less. Imagine making $17,000 a year, but you're doing more work than the men around you, and you're being paid less and trying to raise a household on less. And that goes for millions of women. There are millions of women today that are being paid 20 cents. I think for African American women, they're being paid as much as 30 cents on the dollar of a white male. And so, it's just not right. Dr. King said, if you start out in a race behind, if you're going to win the race, one or two things are going to have to happen. Either the person ahead is going to have to slow down, or you are going to have to work twice as hard in order to win. But if nothing changes and it stays the same, you will always be behind. And I think unless, I'm in the United States Senate writing policy that levels the playing field, most of these situations, including women, will always be behind, because I don't see nobody else talking about this issue. I don't see nobody else with this on their platform and trying to push for change. And some of these politicians have been in offices to be able to do something like this for years and haven't done it. And so, it's just time for change, and it's time for someone who understands this. And I get it. You said it earlier. There is benefit in having a diverse leadership to represent a diverse population. My background is extremely diverse, but also I am a political scientist. This is what I study, and I understand how to put together policy. I understand what it's going to take to be able to negotiate and have policy that allows the progress to continue moving forward without being stagnated based on political, philosophical, ideological arguments that keep us from moving our society forward, that leaves the people stuck holding the bag. Enough of that.
Yep. I agree. I agree. Took the words right out of my mouth. Let's move right along. I have 2 more questions for you before we start rounding out this lovely interview. Question number 4, and this one may be, it's a little on point, a little more current. DeSantis signed the Don't Say Gay bill. Despite what he did, how will or what will you do to assure the LGBTQIA+ community that their rights still matter?
Well, first of all, let me just say gay. Second of all, let me just say this. There is federal policy that needs to be passed, the Equality Act, which guarantees the rights and freedoms for people in the LGBTQ community. One of the things that I would do is I would be an extra voice and an extra vote to pass the Equality Act. I would also work to make sure that our brothers and sisters who are in the LGBTQ community, that they have a voice for whenever they are up against situations that they constantly deal with, like threats on the job, like bullying, like hate crimes. There needs to be stiffer punishment for hate crimes against people who are in the LGBTQ community. We saw a rash of violent crimes aimed at our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ community. We lost loved ones here in Orlando at the Pulse nightclub shooting. We saw Governor DeSantis literally pull funding from the community in order to reallocate monies towards building a police force to secure a border wall in Texas. And the thing is that we could always supersede state laws, but we have to have members in the United States Congress who understand how to secure these things at the federal level to make sure that they are codified and supersede any laws that try to take place against that at the state level. But again, I don't see members in the United States Congress from Florida that is working to do this. It's another thing that I want to be in Congress to do. And here's the thing, you know, the very reason that I'm running is because when I do look around, I simply do not see leaders writing policy that directly impacts those who do not have a voice, those who do not have a champion. Our society is truly broken down between those who have and those who have not. And it is those who have not that make up the greatest majority. It is those who have not that need leaders to represent their interests. And that is why I'm running, to represent those who simply do not have a leader to represent their interests.
And that's what we need. That's exactly what we need. Last question. All right. Now, again, you might know where I'm going with this last question. It's a good one. I thought I'm you know, lighten it up just a little bit. Did you ever get the go-kart after learning how to play the piano? And what are some of your ideas for the future of the state of Florida? So it's kind of a two-part question. Kind of a two-part.
Okay. Well, yeah, I did get the go-kart.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I worked very hard. My dad asked me, he said, Alan, will you learn how to play the piano? I said, I don't want to play the piano. He said, I tell you what, if you learn how to play 2 songs by Christmas, I'll get you a go-kart. Because my dad is a huge music person. He plays the guitar, the bass guitar.
So do I. So do I. Nice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I play the bass. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Not here about me. We're here about you. So continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I wanted to play the drums, and my dad said, "There's enough drummers in the world. You need more piano players." But I wasn't going to turn down the go-kart, so I started taking piano lessons. I learned "This Little Light of Mine." I learned "Amazing Grace."
Oh, and 2 great songs. 2 great songs.
Yeah, they're kind of like the foundation for a lot of songs that I learned how to play, from the chord arrangement and stuff like that. But yeah, he actually had me to play the songs in a church service. And once I played the songs, he went off and started the church, and I have been playing in the church ever since. But my vision, my vision for Florida is it's centered around improving the quality of life for the citizens of Florida, the residents of Florida, and the citizens of this country. We have 67 counties. And what I have learned through my travels throughout the state and town halls is that there are literally a themed issue in every single county. So no one county is exactly alike. Some counties have pollution issues. Some counties have environmental issues. Some counties have corruption issues. Some counties are dealing with water-related issues. But every county has a different type of issue. But in general, what I want to be able to do is to strengthen Florida's economy. I want to be able to make sure that that the mining companies and that the big sugar is held accountable. That's why I don't take any of their money. In order to hold corporate entities accountable in the United States Senate, you have to be beholden to the people and not beholden to special interest groups. So that's why I don't take their money, because a regulator cannot be bought by those that they're looking to regulate. And so you won't see that from others, but you will be able to see that from me. And I want to be able to hold them accountable. But I also want to make sure that those who are disabled are not being turned down from disability benefits year after year after year. I want to make sure that that the veterans that are committing suicide are not dying by suicide, that we get them the help and treatment that they need, that we streamline our medical record system so that they can go to any hospital. I want to make sure that we are protecting Social Security because we have an aging population. Make sure that no one can steal money out of Social Security system to pay for other programs that they want to be able to pay for. I want to make sure that our children's futures are safe. Florida is literally going underwater every year. We have climate change that's causing our sea levels to rise. And with a rising sea level, we see sewer systems that are pouring waste onto Florida's streets, America's streets, sometimes to the tune of 900,000 tons of raw sewage seeping out onto America's streets. And so we have to tackle the climate change issue. We have to make sure that we inspire a level of political engagement to the point where people begin to learn the lessons that they really should have learned in school. I want to make sure that Florida school system is teaching more about government so that people have a better understanding of how government should work and not base their ideas off of what Fox tell them, you know, and that's a huge issue, is the lack of information. I see in this state that there is a huge problem with people attacking intellect. And if we are moving into a society where intelligence is constantly being attacked, where people can just say, Dr. Fauci needs to not be in his position because they have a difference of political ideology than the person who has literally been on the front line of pandemics for the last 50 years. He's been able to help us get through pandemics for the last 50 years, but because of political ideology, now all of a sudden he doesn't know anything. We have to really strengthen our educational system because it's literally at the foundation of how we are going to move forward, what type of information people are going to have, and how we are going to improve the quality of life for everyone. I want to make sure that we have a universal healthcare system. And if people listen to President Obama the other day, then they would have heard that even he, who passed the Affordable Care Act, now believes that it is time to move into a society where we are keeping up with the other 33 developed nations in the world who literally have a universal healthcare system, because the system that we have the insurance companies in the decision-making process when it comes to citizens trying to make decisions about their health. It's being overturned or controlled by how much money an insurance company is willing to pay. And if I don't know anybody who truly wants to be giving out money every month in premiums, or money all the time for deductibles, or money for all of the things that come along with the current system, when we really can literally have leaders come together and create a new sustainable revenue generator to be able to pay for these programs. In order for me to be in a position to do any of the things that I'm talking about, we have to have a level of consciousness in this state where people begin to really understand who's looking out for the people's interests, as opposed to which leaders are looking out for their own interests. Because if you've been in Congress for a number of years and the only thing that you can say is that you have benefited yourself, but nothing to say about what you have done for the people, then maybe you are not the right person to be in the office that you hold. And I think once people can start to see that, because people can't see it right now, people are still only going off of name recognition. People are still only going off of what party they're in. But when they really become educated about how they are being directly impacted or indirectly impacted by the policies that come out of the politician's head, that make it to paper, that become law, we'll have a whole new ball game. The other thing I want to see happen is we pass the For the People Act, where we take money out of politics. Because if we take money out of politics, there is not a single person that I'm running against would want to stand up against me and talk policy. At the end of the day, it should always be about the people. Personal gain means nothing if you are not doing a thing to help inspire the people, motivate the people, help the people, mobilize the people, and improve the quality of their lives.
I can't say it. That is exactly what we need. That is exactly someone that understands the issues, and having a population, like you said, that's more educated, that understand, they can kind of see when someone is BSing them, and really see when someone is wants the best for their constituents and their state, you know. And getting money out of politics, that's another one. You said it earlier. If the people you want to regulate are paying you, you can't regulate them. You can't. You know, you're working for them now. It's like a job, right? If you work for an employer, you got to get paid for your services, for your time. They can't just have you work and not pay you. So if you're getting paid from an organization, from a corporation, they're making sure that when policies need to be made, they're made in their favor. You know, so getting that money out, because I'm not a politician. You know, I'm a voter. I want someone that aligns with what I want, whether it be healthcare, whether it be dealing with the economy, a better school system. Like, people have to really start not just focusing, like you said, on name recognition, you know, how much money they raise, but what their policies are, because that's what's going to help you, you know, the voter, in the short and long term. You know, if you're focusing on what they stand for, you know, I want to help the disabled people. I want to make sure kids have more access to resources in schools, you know, have better books, things like that. If people focus on that, and which politicians are talking about that, I guarantee you their life, people next door to them, down the street, another county over, their lives will be so much better, because they're voting for someone who has their interests at heart, not focusing on how much money I can make. You know, because I was in this committee, I know that this particular stock's going to rise, or this particular stock's is going to go low, so I'm going to sell. Like, we don't need politicians in office that are focusing on that. We need politicians in office like yourself, focusing on the people, what matters the most. I could care less how much Nancy Pelosi makes, but if there's not laws that's going to help me make money, or make me be able to help support my family, what are we talking about? Why are you there? You know? But I agree with everything you said, and I really hope that the people of Florida, your constituents, your future voters, are really taking heed to the things that you're saying, because you are for them. You know, we need people for the people who understand the issues that we go through. And all my questions tonight, you've answered immaculately. That demonstrates you are for the people. So thank you again so much for spending a little bit of your time talking with me. I have 4 more questions. 4 questions. They're quick. They're fun. I want to say thank you, everybody in the chat. The chat is blowing up. They are praising you left and right, Mr. Ellison. I think these are some potential voters, because all I see is you're doing a great job. Universal healthcare system, we can't afford it. Alan knows what we have actually costs us all more. So I'm guessing, I'm thinking they're saying they agree with you and you understand what it is that they need. So that's just one of the many messages that people are hearing. They're hearing you and they believe in you. So this is just awesome. And again, thank you so much. But let me ask these 4 questions. They're real quick, straight to the point. I'm a movie guy. I create movies. I create content. But I have to ask, what is either one of your favorite movies?
I
It
would
could be
say
recent, it could be old.
I would say one of my favorite movies is Coming to America.
Let's go. Let's go. Classic. Love it. That is a good one.
Let them wait. I'm talking to my son.
I love it. All right, we're gonna move right along because again, it's getting late and I don't want to hold you too much longer. You know, we're talking about movies, but you know, you gotta have a balance. You know, you can't just be watching TV all day. Like my dad used to tell me, hey boy, get out in front of that TV, go outside and play. You know, we can't be in front of TV all day. So with that being said, when you're not watching TV, what is your favorite book? What book do you like to read? Fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't matter.
Right now, I'm reading The Sum of Us.
Oh, nice. And briefly, can you tell us what that's about?
Well, it's about labor unions, how they got started,
Oh, nice.
you know,
Nice.
the racial aspect of what brought labor unions together, how labor unions were being tested, how people work to undermine labor unions, the benefit of collectively bargaining to improve the quality of work conditions for workers here in America. So it's a really good book. It's called The Sum of Us.
Nice. Some of us. So I should have said this at the top of the show, but I just have two quick things I want to say. And you reminded me, speaking of labor unions, I definitely want to give a big shout out, a big congratulations to Chris Smalls. He is the gentleman from Staten Island that started the Amazon Union. When Amazon was doing everything in their power to deter their employees from unionizing. I mean, look what happened, what they did in Vesper, Alabama, you know, but they tried to make him the face because he was, and I'll just say it, because he was a Black dude. They say he was uneducated, inarticulate, and they were trying to be funny when they did that. And it backfired. It backfired horribly. And I just love it. So congratulations, a big congratulations to Chris Smalls for starting that union in Staten Island, especially for the Amazon. Like this is what we need. We need unions. We need people. We need these unions to protect the worker, to make sure that they're being paid fairly. Kind of going back to what you were saying earlier about equal pay for men and women, these corporations control that. And if we don't have unions, regardless if you're a man or woman, you're not going to get paid for the job that you are doing because corporations are greedy. And we need unions to level the playing field. So again, congratulations to Chris Small. My second congratulations, and I'll get to my last two questions. I'm horrible with names, people. Katanja Brown Jackson, a wonderful big congratulations to her by being the first African-American woman to be confirmed to the Supreme Court. Again, people, we need people that understand our issues. I'm not just talking about Black people issues. I'm talking about the people issues. I mean, of course, Black issues is just right there. I mean, we can't walk away from it. It's there. But the fact that we have somebody like that in office, more qualified than all the people on the court, like it's a beautiful thing. So congratulations to both of those wonderful individuals, Chris Small and Ketanji Brown Jackson. So congratulations to both of them. But let's move right along because we're here for you, Mr. Ellison. Question number 3. When you have downtime, when you're not watching movies, when you're not reading a book, what do you like to do?
You know, because I have very little time throughout the day, when I'm not doing those things, I'm probably playing Roblox with my daughter.
Nice.
That's her favorite thing to do. So, you know, I've been playing that for a minute now, and I see other politicians because I was the first politician globally to be on the platform, and I see other politicians are trying to follow suit now.
Right. They see what you're doing. They like, yo, I like that. Oh man. And my last question. All right, here we go. Living in Florida your whole life, what is the wildest thing you saw when it comes to the animals or critters of Florida?
Um, I think one of the wildest things that I've seen was an alligator stand upright like a man,
Yeah, right.
and knock on a door.
No, I'm going crazy. Are you? Wait, what?
Like, let me in, let me in.
Yo, only in Florida. That is crazy. Wow. We talked about so much tonight, Mr. Ellison, from LGBTQ to disabled people to women's rights to what books, movies you like. We talked about a lot tonight. And before we go, I have one final question. With everything we talked about, or something that we didn't talk about tonight, what's the one thing that you would like your constituents of Florida to take away from this interview tonight?
I just want people to understand that, there's nothing perfect about me, except my gift of helping others. Again, running for office is really a way for me to maximize my gift of helping others. If I help somebody set up a business, and I've done this like over 400 times, I've helped set up over 400 businesses throughout Florida. But when I do that, the time that it takes me to go through the process of setting up businesses for people really could be the same amount of time that I could write policy. And rather than help one individual, I could help hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people with the same level of effort. And with what I know from what I've studied in school with policy, with what I understand by holding the most town halls of any politician in Florida, I have learned that I can take all of that experience and all of that knowledge and put it into policy to start literally making positive impact in the lives of everyone. And it's something that we do not see from our leaders here in Florida. It's something that I want to change. And in order for me to do that, I need your help, your support, your vote, your financial support. So please visit our website at allenellison.com. Join our team. Our team is vast. It's diverse. It's a family. We try our best to bring solutions. And I am not one of those people that talk about what I'm going to do when I get in office. I am one of those people that try and make impact right now. In a year's time, our campaign has literally done more for people than the people that are in office running for Florida's United States Senate. We have helped to stop evictions. We have helped to get roofs paid for. We have helped to pay for drug treatment programs. I'm talking about our campaign. When people reach out to us and in need of constituent services, in need of help, our campaign goes to work to make sure that people get what they need. And I hear it all the time. I've reached out to my congressperson. I've reached out to the senators. I have not received a phone call back. I have not received an email back. I have not received mail back. And they reach out to our campaign, and within 24 hours, sometimes in 48 hours, we have already provided the services that they need and helped them to sleep a little bit better at night. And so this is why I believe that I need to be in the United States Senate, because I'm already doing the job of Marco Rubio.
Let's go. I'm sorry. I got to clap that up. I got to clap that up. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Again, for spending a little bit of your time with us. These were some pretty tough questions. I didn't want to go too strong. I thought it was fairly balanced, but no, thank you so much for your time, your answers, your effort. To everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much. Please like, share, subscribe, pass this video around. All the people in Florida need to see this video. He's talking to you guys. He's not talking to me. I'm just asking a question and he's talking directly to you guys. I hope you guys feel that passion, that energy, that authenticity. Not genuine, but authenticity. That's what matters. He's being authentic. He's being his true self. He wants to fight for you. And he's already doing it, and he's not even in office. Like, get this man an office already. For real. But again, thank you so much for joining us. All his social medias, his website, if you want to donate, volunteer, all that you will be able to find in the description after the show. Please go to his website, connect with him, go to his Twitter, all his social medias, learn more about him, because he's been talking to you guys this whole night. He has not been talking to me. But again, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night, and hopefully in the future after your election, you can come back, talk with us again. But again, everybody, please share this video with all your friends in Florida, so you guys can learn more about Mr. Allen Ellison, what he stands for, what he plans to do for you. Excuse my language, what he's already doing. This man doesn't have an office and he's already helping people. Like, come on. I haven't even heard, I only see politicians in my state doing that. They help people after the election. He's doing it before the election. So that just shows you his dedication. Again, his authenticity, what he means to the people of Florida. He wants to help you.
So
go ahead.
You've seen our Twitter. You've seen what we do.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They don't even have to be in our state. People reach out from California, Texas. So whenever they need help, we still help.
You know, and I'm not in Florida, by the way, everybody. I'm in a whole nother state. But I felt his authenticity. I felt that what he stands for, people need to hear. You know, and because we're in a different state, it doesn't mean you can't help donate. We have to help people across this country in different states. We have to get the people elected. If we can help somebody in Washington State get elected by sending them donations, let's do that. If we can help Mr. Ellison in Florida by giving donations, or if you're in Florida by volunteering, hitting the pavement, going door to door, we have to do that. We have to get people like Mr. Ellison in office, because I'm tired of these billionaires. Yes, making money is good. Who doesn't want to make money? But when it comes to politics, when it comes to what the people need, that's not even secondary. That's out of sight, out of mind. It's not about the money. It's about the people. So with that being said, is there anything else you want to say before we go tonight?
I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be on this platform. I'm in somewhat of a media blackout. And so being able to come onto your platform and talk to the people, I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you for coming on. And again, I hope everybody in the state of Florida shares this video. Everybody in the chat, please share this video. Let your friends know, let your family members know who Mr. Allison is, Mr. Allen Ellison. And go to his website, check him out. You'll get more information on his platform, more information on him as a person, and you'll be able to help donate and things like that. So we're going to close out the show. Again, thank you so much for stopping by, talking with us. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for all your comments and wonderful, kind words. You guys have a wonderful rest of the evening, week, and weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Come back next week, everybody. I'm doing a regular show. We'll be talking about the news, updates, all of that. This is your second reminder. Please like, share, subscribe. I am Aaron Casey, and this is What's Up People News. Peace. See you next week. Have a good night, sir.
Thank you.
All right.